Alright guys, and welcome to your 11th Google Chrome extension development tutorial, and in this tutorial we'll be continuing with our series of Twitter Social Toolkit extension development. So in the last tutorial we learned about how to create and get the selected text of the user with the help of this context menu. So now let's learn how to differentiate between different context menus. In Chrome we have selection, link, image, I guess link, image, selection, and we have one more. Let me grab my thoughts. Selection, link, image, and what we have, page. So we have, and we do have many more, but these four are the major ones and the ones we'll be using in this extension. So these four work as follows. The selection one, as the name suggests, would appear when a user selects a certain text and right clicks here. So this one fires on the selection one, which is the current one. The link one fires when a user right clicks on a link. The image one fires when user right clicks on an image, and the page one fires when the user clicks anywhere on the page, anywhere instead of these three. So one way of setting all of these information to the four ones would be like doing 4 copies of context menus, but this creates kind of a mess. So what we'll do is we'll be using for loop. So to do that, first of all, let's create context list, and let's set each to selection, link, image, and page. Alright, and now we need a for loop for I equals 0, as less than context list dot length, and just I plus plus. So here we go, and down here we'll declare some variables. I want the title to be social toolkit, or let's say Twitter toolkit, only Twitter toolkit, and share this, and then we'll do some dynamic stuff. Let's create another variable context, which says context list. I'll explain everything what I'm doing right now. Share this context on your Twitter profile, and we'll want to have nothing. Sure, we're done. I'll just name it title X because we already have title down here. So we got title X, context as the context one, and on click my function. Okay, so what we are doing here is, in a for loop we are basically creating a variable context, and get with this variable stores each of these values for per loop. So in the first run of this loop, context would have selection, and title would be Twitter toolkit, share this selection on your Twitter profile for every selection, and the context menu.create would inherit or basically grab all this information we have set in the loop. So now in this function we need something to have to differentiate between the selection, link, image, and page context. So we'll assign an ID down here, ID, and we'll just set it to context. Now what would happen is this ID would contain this one of these 4 information. So when this function is called, we could actually grab this ID and verify this function is called for which purpose. So let's say switch selected, or just rename to data, because we have now, instead of selected text, a lot of stuff. Switch select or data dot menu item ID. Now what it does is, the caps tells the Chrome to differentiate this ID from this. So basically it would grab this ID, that means this ID down here, into this data.menu item ID. So every time it would return a different ID based on the user, what the user is doing actually. So we are switching data.menu item ID, and for the first case we have selection. If the ID is selection, then we want, let's see, we want Chrome tabs create URL instead. We want text here, and let's break this thing. The next thing we want selection is link. Again, let's copy this and let's replace text with URL and data.selection text with link URL. Now this gives us the URL of the ahref link. Again, let's break out of select now, and the case should be now image. So the image should give us src URL, img src, if you remember. Let's break out of this, and in case of page, we'd like to grab the title of the page, but how we'll do that, I'll explain that in the next tutorial. But for now, let's just hard code this, my page, so we can see that it's actually working. So here we go, and let's break this out, and I guess we are ready. So let's reload our extension down here, and here we go. The selection one first, or just let's go to Google to keep the things clear, because okay, so let's select this text, right click. Whoa, where's the selection text? So my function context list, create title X. Let's see what's wrong with the background script. Okay, uncaught error, invalid value for argument 1, property context, expected array but caught string. Context list array. Okay, sorry, this context down here accepts an array, but we actually gave it a string, so you have to put angular brackets with that. And let's see if it's okay now. Yeah, and let's select this text and right click, and we've got this selection, and you notice the title says share this selection. Now selection is dynamically grabbed here, context, by this list, and this selection fires only when the user selects something and right clicks on it. So here we go, text says google.co.in/offered whatever we selected here. So far so good. Now supposingly I want to share this link. Now I right click on this link, and like a magic, our context menu says Twitter Toolkit, share this link on your Twitter profile, and here we go. We have this URL right here. Cool. The next thing we had is an image. Yeah, so this is an image. This is basically a background image. We need something. Yeah, my profile photo would do. No. And maybe this. Let's search for an image. I'll just go with this. Okay, so right clicking on this, we get Twitter Toolkit, share this image on your Twitter profile. So just like this, we copied the URL of this image automatically into the URL of Twitter. So when you'll share this, the image would automatically pop up in your timeline. And about the page, then we get right click anywhere on this, and we get Twitter Toolkit, share this page on your Twitter profile. Now to grab the title of the page could be a bit time consuming and explanatory, so I have currently hard coded this as my page only, and in the next tutorial we'll be learning about how to enhance this code and make it a little better. So stay tuned with me and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.